Welcome to the Timeline course. I'm your host, Claire Chancellor, and today we are going to have a fascinating experience. We are going to use Timeline to explore your experience being in the womb. Now, this one is a fabulous experience, and you can gain so many different aha moments from it. And the healing and the ripple effect is incredible. I know it sounds a little bit odd to explore being in the womb, but as we know, our soul's journey, we are experiencing all things this life, past lives, ancestral, and in the womb. So your unconscious mind is recording all the time. Exploring your experience in the womb can unlock deep insights into your foundational beliefs. Research shows that your experience from being in the womb can definitely influence your emotional patterns, your sense of safety, and the way that you connect with people. So, by understanding your early influences, can help you gain clarity on what is needing healing. When I have taken clients back to the womb space, it has been interesting to find out that this has been a pivotal time where they've made themselves small, not taken up too much space. And in the real world, they have trouble, finding a home, or they have trouble leasing out business spaces because their energy says, I need to take up such little space. And so the womb space, going back to healing in the womb, yeah, it's fascinating what comes up. The other theme that comes up from being in the womb is commitment challenges. So if you are on your way being in the womb, mum knows you're here, dad knows you're here, but he doesn't want a bar of you, this can create a bit of an imprint and that ripple effect again, that chain of events of commitment challenges, because your survival depends on committing to those carers for you. And so it can create an issue with relationships later down the track with trusting people. The other fascinating thing with going back to the womb space is that we can resolve and dissolve issues with validation. Ooh, when I found this out, I was in such a high vibe, skipping happy mood. It's like, finally, like I've got the aha moment that I needed to better understand that issues with validation, be it internal validation or needing external validation, can actually stem from being in the womb. So if you think about it, your whole being in your mum's uterus or in her womb space there, your whole being is in essence part of her. You are her, she is you, and that sense of maternal pride that everything that she's got to give is to validate your experience being here. So when people who have trouble with internal validation can often have issues entangled, enmeshed with mum. The other one, from client cases that I've recognized, is that if you're a bit of a perfectionist, pushing to get that external validation. Think of like an athlete wanting to be the best. A lot of their self-worth and their measure comes from that external validation. And so that can actually stem from the relationship intertwined with dad. A healthy father will provide that strategy on what you need to do in this world to be accepted and secure. And this is going to be that measure of drive and ambition. So if he believes that he is your if you if he believes you are his child, because back in the day we didn't have those DNA tests, then he and his genes and his legacy was all in your hands. So he would give you the blueprint, the programming on what it's like to be successful in this world. Again, compared to mum with the internal validation, she is here holding you. You are my baby. I accept you as you are, no matter what. And she will have the utmost belief in your potential, and her intuitive guidance will teach you how to be secure in this world, how to believe in yourself. So, who you are is a reflection of her identity. So fascinating, right? We've got the contrast here between internal and external validation. And we see that a lot with clients who struggle so much with owning their worth, their self-worth, same sort of thing. It's a big deal to be able to take somebody back to the womb space and get that aha moment so that they can just breathe, be their authentic version of themselves, head held high, feeling confident. So the womb space, fascinating. With the timeline scripts, as we all know, the timeline will initiate the client to say, okay, identify that limiting emotion, and trusting the first thing that comes to mind was the root cause of this limiting emotion in this life, in a past life, in the womb, or is it ancestral? And of course, today I'm going to take you through the womb section of timeline, but we need to be able to set the intention that we're going to go back together within the group, and to explore the womb space. So I will skip that particular step when you've got your timeline scripts. Today we're going to go back to the womb. Now, again, this is a group experience, and so I'm going to set the intention that we're going to look back at your experience being in the womb at the point of the validation, needing validation. Yes, we could have gone down the lack of commitment to yourself, but the needing validation, whether that's internal or external validation, this is where you're going to get the absolute gold and the aha moments from the experience. So, with that in place, let's have a wonderful time exploring something new about you using the timeline script, going back to the womb and seeking out where you need validation. And you know what? If you're somebody who's got really good, healthy levels of internal and external validation, then, experience the experience so that you know how your clients will be going through the process. Okay, got that in place? All I need you to do now is sitting back, knowing that this time is just for you, and checking in, is it all right with your unconscious mind for you to release this program of needing validation and to be consciously aware of it? Now, you'll either get a yes, yep, I'm ready to explore this, I'm ready to understand my relationship with validation, or you may have got a no, and then you might want to press pause, go back and check in what's going on with that one. But for those who said, yep, I'm in, I want you to know that pregnancy is usually around 40 weeks. So I've carried twins to full term. They lasted 37 weeks in my womb space. That would be interesting, wouldn't it, to take them back on the timeline process to see the contrast being twins. I know that my husband was a triplet and he was born around the 30-ish week mark, a little bit earlier than that. And so knowing your mum, knowing her pregnancy, knowing that you were there too, pregnancy is usually around 40 weeks. So trusting the first thing that comes to mind, how many weeks into the womb space were you when you made this limiting assumption about validation? So trusting the first thing that comes to mind, how many weeks were you into that pregnancy where the need for validation or that limiting program about validation first got installed? Now, a number should appear, like toast popping out of a toaster. Your unconscious mind will give it to you. And all that number does is it gives us a point of reference, gives us the direction in which we're going back today to explore your experience in the womb space. And I've had people who, you gotta love coaching. Some people have gone back to like seconds before they were born, and other people have gone back to being like 4 cells in the womb experience. So, yep, you'll be on your toes as a coach when you take people through this process. We've gone off track a little bit here. So, bringing our attention back to you. A pregnancy is usually 40 weeks. Trusting the first thing that comes to mind, how many weeks into the womb were you when this limitation around validation was created? Okay. So, with that in place, let's get started. I'm going to ask you to concentrate on my voice as I continue to speak. And as you're sitting there in your chair or laying down, being just as comfy as you can, I'm just going to invite you to look up. So you're looking towards those gorgeous eyebrows. And that just signals to the brain that it's time to go into that creative trance-like state. Allowing those eyelids to drop, concentrating on my voice, and just feel yourself slowing down. All of those adult responsibilities can wait. And we're just going to slow down your breathing, feeling that sense of comfort, feeling into that relaxation. And as you continue to relax, causing you to feel lighter and lighter, I'm going to actually ask you to allow this relaxation to come down into your body. As that relaxation pours down from the top of your head, I want you to notice that that's like liquid crystal, like honey just oozing, smoothing down from the top of your head, allowing that relaxation just to come down in throughout your head, down your neck, down into your chest. And as that healing, relaxing energy moves down your arms, just starts to warm up your hands, allowing that relaxation to pour down throughout your chest, your torso, your stomach, thighs, your knees, your calves, and your feet. And just as you continue to breathe, relaxation feeling just moves all throughout your entire being, allowing that relaxation to just consume your entire being, like filling up your aura. With that lightness and that relaxation there, I'm just going to invite you to float up out of your body, floating higher and higher, floating higher and higher. And as you're floating up high, I want you to notice there's that busy time stream of yours. So intuitively you'll know which direction is your future and which direction is your past. And today we're going to go all the way back along your time stream. We're going to go all the way back to the very first time in the womb where you experienced this limiting condition about validation. You don't have to consciously know, but your unconscious mind will just give you a sense of that moment when you were back in the womb, when there was this program, this limiting decision about validation. And so finding yourself zooming all the way back on your time stream, and just to be above that event. In a moment, not now, I'm going to ask you to drop down into that event, to see what you saw, to hear what you heard, and to feel what you felt the moment that you made that program, that limiting decision about validation. So on 3, 2, 1, just dropping down into that event, dropping down. And I want you to find yourself just there in the womb space. So here, we're going to ask your unconscious mind to dial up your hearing so you can hear the truth. And we're also going to dial up your knowing so that you can know the truth. And being in the womb, I just want you to notice what it's like. What are the first things that you notice as you go into that developing body? Allow your body to feel it and allow the details to come to your awareness. Maybe you can hear mum's heartbeat. Maybe you're aware of the space around you. And as you're there, seeing what you see, hearing what you hear, and feeling what you feel, I just want you to notice what it's like to move your body. Is it easy or difficult? How does it feel to have that fluid on your skin? How do you feel about coming into this world? What are you looking forward to from your life? Does mum know that you're on your way? Mum coping with the pregnancy? Any stress? Does dad know that you're on your way? Is dad committed to having you? It's not. How does it feel to be committed to someone who's not committed to you? And if he is committed to having you, what's that like too? As a soul, between lives, you would have chosen this family. And what do you intend to learn from this family? What do you intend to teach this family? And what does this little version of you need? Understanding that we've come to this point in time where there's a challenge with validation. Checking in here about the need for validation. What's going on for you? Is it with mum? Is it with dad? Do you know that you matter? I want you to take notice that mum and dad's experience is separate to yours, and they will be going through their own challenges, their own surprises, and their own growth, getting their heads around just this life-changing event, having a baby. It's a chapter in their life. And the truth is, the stress that they're experiencing or the chaos, it's got nothing to do with who you are. It's got everything to do with their preparation for this particular chapter. Noticing that you matter. Knowing that you matter and knowing that you deserve that unconditional love, validation, and support. Let's imagine for a moment that we bring forward the being known as Mother Earth. So as you're there in that room space, I want you to notice that that being of Mother Earth, just like a guardian angel, appears with you. As she's there, I want you to notice that she shares a special message for you. Hear her message that I'm always going to be here for you. My entire being is to support your life. I'm fully committed to holding the space for you to learn, grow, and excel in everything that you set out to do. Your purpose here on earth is completely supported by me. I want you to find yourself just breathing in that reassurance, knowing that Mother Earth has got your back. And so with that in place, I want you to notice that it's time to leave that womb space. Just finding yourself floating up. I want you to invite you to float higher and higher, floating up above this event. So as you're so high up, looking down on that event, noticing that that small chapter of you being in the womb is just way down below. As you're directly above that event, we're going to ask your unconscious mind what it needs to learn from that event. The learnings of which will allow you to let go of that need for validation. Your unconscious mind can preserve the learnings so that in the future, when you may need validation, those lessons, the ahas, can just automatically appear. And there's that strategy in place to support you. So let's check in from this higher perspective. What are the learnings that you need to be able to release this need for validation? Just start to become aware of what you were supposed to learn from that experience that previously held you back. This piece here about validation, relying on other people. What have you learnt from observing other people's energy? And what were you to teach your parents about love? From this higher perspective, I want you to actually float along your time stream before you were even in the womb. Floating back, and from this perspective, I'm just going to invite you to pour in all of that love, the light, the radiant energy, the support, and the learnings, so that you can see all of that love and light just pour out throughout your time stream. Powerful energy works its magic. I want you to witness your mother's womb filling up with love. Bring in that nourishment, the vitality. Bring in that energetic protection. That you're in that aura, that space to just grow, thrive, and be immersed in that love. Dial up the safety for you and your mum. More into that time stream that I am comfortable in my own skin. My body works harmoniously. I respect my boundaries. I embrace my playful, childlike curiosity. I am confident. I am safe. I am safe. I am safe. See that love and light pour throughout all directions of time, just seeing that even spill out into your future you. And with that incredible energy in place, it's now time to prepare yourself to come back into the now, bringing with you all of these new learnings, the new boundaries, the new curiosity, and any of those aha moments. Because in a moment, not now, I'm going to ask you to come back into this time that we call reality. You'll have no sign of tiredness, no sign of fatigue, and in fact, you'll have more energy and clarity to do the things that are important to you. Noticing that time stream of yours, it's time to travel all the way back to this moment. And as you do, I want you to notice that love and light on your time stream, just pouring all over those moments in the past where you lacked that validation. Just noticing that there's that love, there's that connection, there's that light traveling all the way back to this moment. And so feeling yourself coming back to this place we call reality, feeling yourself expressing yourself in a unique way, locking this success from your mind, body, and soul, always knowing that you can solve any challenge, starting to wiggle those fingers and toes, heart rate back to normal, head held high, and on one, opening your eyes to a whole new you. Okay, so now is definitely the time to grab a glass of water. You may want to journal. You may want to go for a bit of a walk. But now is the time to explore what are the new choices available to you. It's time to explore your connection to your body and where you feel that love and light and that inner certainty, that inner validation. Check in with how you can trust yourself with your boundaries in the future so you're not taking on board other people's misunderstandings and other people's energy. Another suggestion, if you had that experience of being in the womb and getting a sense that there was a lot of sadness or loss, sometimes that can actually indicate that mum's had a miscarriage and you're the next one in the queue. So so I have had clients where they've like, oh gosh, mum's been pregnant before and I didn't know I had that, that didn't know she had that miscarriage. It can definitely open up a different kind of conversation if you felt that. If you didn't feel it, just don't worry about it. Checking in, how does the new learnings, the learnings about what you're here to teach your family, the learnings about you, the learnings about validation, how does this shift your identity? And did you like that cheeky moment where we bring in Mother Earth and how she just is here to support your entire being? When you think about this one, how can you ground and connect to Mother Earth a little bit more? I'm somebody who wouldn't hesitate to take my shoes off and walk, in the grass or walk on the beach and just really ground and connect and thank her for holding that space and that energy. And of course, we didn't go back to being a child, but we did go back to being in the womb. So, what can you do to bring in that nurturing, childlike play and support to yourself? Maybe you want to have a bath. I live in a bathless house. That's not an option for me. Maybe you want to be by the water. Maybe you want to go for a walk along the lake or the river or the beach. But what can you do to attend to that childlike, yeah, vulnerability, the play, the innocence? Alrighty, what a process. So I hope you gained that clarity that you were looking for today. You can definitely rewind and watch this one again. I'm always curious about your experiences and those aha moments, so let me know what that was like for you. And as I always say, I will talk to you later. Bye, guys.